Hello and welcome to Handle with Care Part 2, Working Smarter, Not Harder. A training video to provide you with some advanced skills and techniques in lifting at heights, the manual handling of larger and delicate items, and some special equipment that you can use to make the job smarter, not harder. Now, this video builds on the manual handling skills demonstrated in the first video, Handle with Care. So firstly, make sure you've seen Part 1 to revise the correct methods used when undertaking a removal. In this video, we'll look at the more complex skills required for a balcony lift and the manual handling of larger, more difficult items, such as a grand piano, a chest of drawers, and a wardrobe. We'll also cover the correct procedures and equipment to move these items up and down tricky sites, such as stairs, and the correct methods for overhead lifting when stowing items in the van. Now, all of this will allow you to work smarter, not harder. Our removalists, Craig and Ian, will demonstrate the correct procedures for this job. But because a balcony move is involved, the operations manager has assigned a third person, Bob. He briefs the crew of the job requirements and the conditions at the site. They also learn of any potential hazards from their job assignment documentation. Before going on site, make sure you've got all the equipment needed and it's in good working order. They'll first check the equipment. Bob is deciding on what ropes or webbing ties to use. There are two types of ropes, natural fibre and synthetic. Fibre ropes should be checked for excess wear and weaknesses. Synthetic ropes are smooth, slippery and difficult to handle and knot. Leather gloves are recommended. Include straps for moving the chest of drawers and also bands for wrapping. Witches' hats, tape and safety triangles will be used to secure the site. And don't forget the need to protect the client's site and property. Include plenty of blankets and pads for protection. Check that the Samson or piano trolley and walk-up boards are in good working order. When checking a walk-up board, look for lifting rubber, bent or broken hooks, uneven surfaces, and that the non-slip area is intact. For the piano move, check the piano shoe and cradle. Before leaving the depot, check the truck's fuel, water and oil. Make sure all lights and electrics are maintained and that the windscreen is washed. Remember the 3 points of contact when getting in and out of the truck. If any equipment is damaged or faulty, including the vehicle, inform your supervisor and fill out the appropriate documentation. Now that your equipment's organised, how do you look? Check your personal appearance. Neat, tucked-in clothing, footwear, sunscreen, and pack a hand towel. You are the face of the company, so make sure you look and act the part. Now, on arrival at the client's site, do your hazard and risk check. Introduce yourself and the team to your client and explain the procedure for the day, including the need, for safety reasons, to check the site. Discuss any concerns they may have regarding valuable items and walk around the house to get an idea. Now, where to position the truck safely. Check for power lines and cables, trees, fences or other street obstructions. Look for outside hazards, particularly at the access. Note slippery surfaces and uneven or sloped ground. Check for overgrown vegetation and clear the carriageway of any obstructions. Remove garden ornaments such as gnomes or toys. Because you've already checked your equipment before leaving the depot, you should be confident of using the walk-up boards if it's wet. As they say in the classics, never work with children or animals. Ensure that kids and pets are kept well clear of the removal area. Explain the dangers to your client and suggest they tether pets and they supervise their children closely. Your witches' hats, tape or triangles will indicate the no-go zones on roads and footpaths, where and if there is a realistic need. Having assessed the outside hazards, let's proceed to the inside of the house. Check for slippery floors, like marble. Does carpet need protecting? Place sheets and padding on stair rails. Expensive or delicate items should be moved to a safer location. With a balcony move, it's extremely important that the balcony be strong enough to carry the weight. If you are in any doubt about the safety of a balcony, call your office for further instructions. In some cases, particularly with older terrace houses, a structural engineer's report may have to be provided by the client. Having identified the hazards and controlled any potential risks, you're now ready for uplifting. Or are you? If you were playing sport on the weekend, I'm sure you'd do some limbering up exercises or stretching so as not to damage any muscles or ligaments. Likewise, before doing any manual handling, do some limbering up like our guys here. Let's quickly revise how we survey and prepare for the job. Before leaving the depot, gather all information about the job, including hazards and risks from your operations manager and from your job documentation sheet. Assemble and check all equipment, your safety gear, personal protective equipment, the truck is in good order, and that your personal appearance is appropriate. At the client's uplift site, meet and brief the client and discuss their concerns, and check for hazards. Assess risk hazards, children, toys, and valuables and control them. Inspect the stairs and check the balcony's stability, making sure it has been certified safe by an expert before beginning. If in doubt, call the depot and limber up before you start lifting. In Handle with Care Part 1, you were shown the methods of manual handling and lifting individually and in teams. Now we'll demonstrate the correct procedures for lifting and carrying downstairs, with and without the use of straps. The same principles for lifting and carrying on a flat surface also apply for stairways. For instance, use the mirrored hands technique and face the front of the item. The crew will now demonstrate this move. Firstly, with straps. When buckling up, make sure you face the front of the chest of drawers and that when you tension them up, the pressure is even. The weight should be comfortable and balanced. You both may have to adjust the straps as you go to compensate for the slope of the stairs. The removalist at the bottom may have to shorten his straps, while both removalists may have to push away to gain clearance. Remember these 4 points. Keep your back straight, avoid twisting, careful, secure feet in the centre of the stairs, and communicate with your partner. As the stairway descends, your line of vision may be impaired, so be extremely careful. When you both reach the bottom of the stair, kneel down and readjust the straps again so that the chest is level. You're now ready to load it into the truck. Now let's look at the same downstairs move without the use of straps. Remember, use mirrored hands and keep your shoulder in close if you are carrying the base of the item. We've now covered how to safely carry large items downstairs. Make sure the movement downstairs is slow and careful. When buckling up, face the front of the item. When you tension up, ensure even pressure to keep the weight comfortable and balanced. Adjust the straps as you go for the slope of the stairs. And the 4 important points: keep your back straight, avoid twisting, careful, secure feet, and communicate. At the bottom of the stairs, readjust straps once more to again level it. Without the use of straps, use mirrored hands and keep your shoulder in close if you are carrying the base of the item. Now the crew will demonstrate the correct procedure for a balcony move of a wardrobe without the use of blocks or aids. First, check the weight of the wardrobe. Now let's survey the balcony. Confirm the stability of the balcony and its railing. Check clearance height and surrounds for any obstacles such as wires and vegetation to ensure there's enough room once the wardrobe is elevated. As there's no secure anchor point for a block and tackle, the guys have decided to proceed with a manual move using slings over the balcony. Firstly, test the ties for the move are long enough to reach over the balcony and to the ground. If applicable, remove any drawers and mirrors to lighten the piece as much as possible. Wrap the wardrobe in felt to protect it from the slings and secure with webbing ties. Lay the wardrobe on its side and tie 2 slings, one at each end. This is where the ropes will be attached. Tie a kicker in place at right angles so that the wardrobe cannot slip and slide. With the back of the wardrobe facing the balcony, tie the lifting ropes to the top of the sling. Make sure they are tied so that the wardrobe suspends slightly at an angle to clear any obstacles from the building. Now test the weight again before proceeding. The most hazardous part of a balcony move is getting the wardrobe over the rail. Lock the lifting ropes behind and below the balcony rail and lift the wardrobe so it sits on the railing. Now roll it, turning it over with one hand on the sling and the other hand on the rope, making sure it is at the right angle to clear the building. Slowly lower the wardrobe. Never lean against the balcony rail. Down one. Down another one. The team lowers it down together and keeps it level. Bob is down below using the guide rope to clear obstacles and keep it steady in the higher risk moves. Once it's reached the ground, lift the wardrobe as normal and load into the truck. Stow items such as chairs on top of the wardrobe, using padding of course. Be conscious of your safety at heights and use a step-up box to pack items higher than your reach. In surveying the balcony, where there is no anchor point, check the balcony and railing stability and that the height is suitable. Also check for clearance and any overhead obstacles. To prepare the item, remove any extra pieces, wrap and protect it, tie with webbing ties, place a sling at each end for the ropes, position the kicker at right angles with the back facing the balcony, tie lifting ropes to the top of the sling so it hangs at an angle, then test the weight. In moving over the balcony, lock your ropes behind and below the rail and raise so the item sits on it. Roll the item for the correct angle over the balcony to clear the building. Lower and return the rope and lock it off. Lower it together using a third person below on the guide rope. Grand pianos are one of the more delicate items you'll learn to dismantle and move. Careful preparation is needed. It also requires special equipment, so make sure you have a piano cradle or piano shoe, felt pads for packing, and a piano Samson for moving it while dismantled, and some tools to undo the bolts. This piano is a baby grand. Remember, you need to be very careful while dismantling with its highly polished surface. Inspect the piano closely for any existing scratches or damage. Point these out to the client and note them on the inventory pad. Remove the keyboard cover. It should lift straight off. Now the foot pedals. The music rest comes off by sliding it forward over the keyboard. Wrap these pieces in felt pads to avoid any damage. Take out the pins that join the hinges of the piano lid and itemise them. Now remove the lid. In some instances, the hinges may need to be completely removed, as in this case. Now for the tricky part, and for this you'll need 3 people. Craig and Ian each hold one leg of the piano while Bob removes the front leg. This one, at the base end of the keyboard, or the left leg if you're facing the keyboard. The piano is then lowered from the left-hand corner onto pads. The bolts should be marked and placed in a small odds and ends box for safekeeping. Position the slipper so all you have to do is tilt the piano onto it. The 2 remaining legs can now be removed, remembering to number them. Raise the slipper from the light end. Bob will tilt up the Samson and place it under the piano's point of balance, about 1/3 of the way back from the keyboard. Now lower the Samson and the slipper together. And now the piano is ready to be loaded in the truck. Now we've learned how to dismantle, pack and remove a grand piano. Remember the special equipment: piano cradle or shoe, felt for packing, piano Samson and tools. To dismantle the piano, remove the pins and lid, keyboard cover, the foot pedals and the music rest. The pins can be wrapped and placed in the odds and ends box. Remove the front leg and lower the base or left-hand corner end onto pads. Position and tilt the piano onto the slipper. Remove the remaining legs and label. Place all the bolts into the odds and ends box. Lift the piano at the light end of the slipper, tilt and place it on the Samson under the piano's point of balance. Lower the Samson and slipper together. Well, the uplift of this tricky removal is finished. So in part 2, this is what we've covered. Lowering a wardrobe over a balcony and the principles of a balcony lift, dismantling and moving a grand piano, lifting a chest of drawers down steep stairs requiring manual handling at heights, and the range of equipment to assist in these removals. Now, all of these advanced techniques and procedures have been provided to ensure your health and safety at all times. So be safe, resourceful, thorough, and importantly, take pride in your appearance. Implement your knowledge and skills in the safest and healthiest possible way. Work smarter, not harder.